Good evening, YouTube. So we're here by the garden, and we are having to do things a little different this year at this point than what we intended because they have not gotten our well drilled yet. It goes over behind that pile of straw on the other side of the garden there. But as you can see, we do have garden hoses run out here and a watering wand there, and we've watered these rows of beets in here, and we've given these potatoes some water, and I'll show you how we're accomplishing that. So over here we've got the pickup with the IBC tote, and I had put together a pump and filter system for camping, and here it is. It's a 3.8 gallon a minute pump, and I have these two big filters, and when we're camping I actually run a particulate filter and then a charcoal filter in those. Right now I'm just running the particulate filter, but I had put this together to be able to pump from a stream or a lake and filter water for kitchen use where it's going to be boiled. And then if we need drinking water from that, I then run it through my Sawyer, and then it's safe for drinking. So you can see how we've got this hooked up here off the back of the IBC tote. Just really simple. I've got just a screen filter in this right here that just takes off any heavies before it gets to the more effective filter. So then the cord is up here, and I have got this cord set up a little differently so that there's no way that it could be ever hooked into from 110 volts or 110 system. So what I've done is I actually cut the cord and hooked it in with some heat shrinks here so that the cord is backwards. So I have the female end here, and I have the pigtail from the cord, and it's got alligator clamps hooked to the battery underneath the hood there. And then I can just hook these together, and I can add a cord into this length if I need to reach farther. But by doing it this way, it has worked quite well when we've gone camping. So I just adapted this into this application. And this way I'm not relying strictly on gravity out of this IBC tote. You can hear the pump running there. Comes up pressure, shuts off. And then I've got a 50-foot hose and a 100-foot hose. And over here to my wand. And just like that. So it works out pretty well. We are looking forward greatly to when the well is drilled, but it has not happened yet due to things like, shortages on manpower, shortages on components. So they tell us we are the next ones in the queue to get their well, but we're not there yet. So we're making do here on the homestead and getting started because we're determined to keep things going. We have a tank up there that I'm getting set up to be able to gravity feed to the garden a bit. It's actually about 5 feet of elevation, so with that tank full, it'll have enough pressure to just run a soaker hose. And then also have a gas-powered pump there that I can use to water with sprinkler down onto some other areas where I have some dry land sweet corn planted. So it needs a little extra because we have had almost no rain. So this is what we've got going on. There's the horses and cows over there and some chickens, and then my farm equipment parked up there. And we decided to put our house on the market and move out of town, out onto the farm ground that I've owned for a number of years. And we're following an idea that I heard and I really liked it, and it was collapse now and beat the rush. I can't remember who originally said that. If I could, I would give them the credit for that statement, but it really makes sense to me to adjust now while times are still fairly good. And adapt and learn how to overcome and get things like food production underway and that kind of thing, so that as the system potentially collapses ahead of us, we're not as behind the curve. And so we are actually off grid 100%. There's electric lines right there, and we are not hooked to them, and we have no plans of hooking to them. So it's just where we want to go. It's kind of been a dream for us, and we decided it was time to just make it happen. So right here we've got potatoes, got 5 rows about 60 feet long of Yukon Golds. And then over on this side, we've got another 5 rows of Kennebecks, and they're doing really well. And I'm getting those weeded out one more time, and then get straw mulch down, and we will just mulch those all the way till harvest. But this is the first year on this garden. This was just farm field, and 2 years ago I measured out where we were going to do our homestead here on the property, and took a dozer and ripped the garden a year and a half ago, so it was prepared in that sense. But we still have, of course, a lot of work to do to get the weeds under control, in particular the grasses. So where you see the dirt over there right behind that trailer, that's where the house will be built. Hoping to have the concrete work done on that within the next 2 weeks and get that process started and keep going from there. So more to come, folks. Hope that you can learn something from what we're doing here. Anybody who has suggestions, drop them in the comments. I love the comment section. And if you would like to see more, subscribe and hit the bell notification so that you catch what we're doing next. We have more videos planned to do for different content about what we're doing here as we build the place, and we'll go from there. God bless.